Hello, it's Kapal. Welcome to part 5. Now, I know part 4 was a bit slow and I kept recovering things and stuff, so I'll try and pace it up a bit. It's hard to find the right balance because there's like so much to talk about in between, and I think I'm just going to leave out all the little details because that's what I sort of did in part 4. So part 5, this is the beginning. This is sort of the beginning of me destroying LK. Now, this was probably my biggest battle ever. I mean, I've taken down entire clans by myself, but this one guy. If I take him down, I am the best in RFG without any question of a doubt. So Rdies was falling apart. People just didn't see me as, I don't know. Everybody started finding out I was like 13, and I was able to just. And I was in a clan, but everybody else was like 18, 17, like over 20, and they're like, he's 13, how? They just prejudged me after that. Even though I'd led them for like a year, they prejudged me. They're like, he's a kid. What the fuck does he know, right? So people started leaving for warriors, which had flameproof and gun warrior. They did not last that long. So I was falling apart. I was just mentally going out of my mind. I was being drained, because I was trying so fucking hard to get this to work. Because I wanted to take down LK's clan. Now, they were technically the biggest clan on the game. Even though we had won that match against Bloodline, LK still had this huge reputation. And that's because of his ego. And, he's the dark side to what I was back then. I was a nice kid. People didn't like me still back then, but I was still kind of cool, LK, everybody hated LK, that's all I knew. He had a huge ego. He just insulted everybody, including me. I really fucking hated this guy. I was not going to leave that game until I beat him. So Rdies was falling apart. I remember the only members that were sort of staying was like Leon and Nax, and that was important because I abandoned Rdies at that point. I just went, right, I've got a plan. I never shared with them this plan until like a year after I did what I did. But what happened is, what happened is the clan was falling apart. I left, and what did I do? I joined LK's clan. Now, back then, this was like colossal news amongst the community. They were like, "Fuck, MH and LK playing together. That is that is fucking insane." All of our clans just gave up hope back then. They just went, "Fuck, there's no chance." Now, I was going to do what I did a lot quicker. I was just going to join that clan, psychologically and mentally just turn it over into my clan, which I did eventually, but there was some things I had to do first. First of all, I joined the clan. It was me and LK. Now, I've never actually explained my skills and stuff yet in these videos, but me and LK, we were like technically the best players in the game, aside from maybe Shikari at that point. Shikari was another big player. I'll get to his clan in a minute. But me on this game, people always ask me, how did you get that good? How was your aim that good? Your dodging, your movement, if anything. Because my movement across the maps has been unmatched for ever. It's that movement I've got around the map that can just deteriorate lag. It goes against lag. I mean, it counterattacks it. Because I can always end up behind enemies, take them down. It means I always play consistently well. Always consistently well. I don't try and get into too many face-to-face battles. I try to avoid them, get them from either the side or behind. That's how I played. Do I have the best aim on the game? Probably yes, but it's hard to tell. With LK was known as the Pistol King back then. This was before Fury joined. LK had an aim like no other. Face to face, you just did not want to get into that situation. Same with Fury, basically. So remember that. But I was I still didn't have the reputation as the best player in the game. I was always LK, Shikari, I'm Greatness, all those type of players. But the reason why I think I'm the best, and the reason why everybody else thinks I'm the best, is because with every single weapon, I just knew how to shoot. I was the most complete player. LK, he could shoot that pistol really well. He could shoot that assault rifle pretty good. With me, I could just anything I pick up, you just fear me. You know, I've got no weakness. That's my biggest strength. I have absolutely no weaknesses whatsoever in the game. I'm also the only one that played with a high sensitivity. Everybody else plays with a lower one. I play with a high one, which has its maybe advantages and disadvantages. You know, it's all up for debate. I can take players down pretty easy. So LK was the big face-to-face player, the Sir Fury type player. He was also a really good mover around the map as well. So me and him, joining together, that was huge news because Rdies was like the second biggest clan. He was the biggest, and I had to go through a lot of shit when I did that. When I did that, the amount of abuse I got, they're all like, "Oh, LK made you his bitch" and shit like that, and I was like, I cannot fucking wait to take LK down. So I joined this clan. Now there was a couple of things I had to do. Now it was important that Nax and Leon stayed with me because this gave me power. I joined the clan. There was no co-leadership or anything. There was nothing like that. I was just like a new member. That was it. It wasn't. I didn't go in as a second leader or something. But I was like, LK, okay, I can bring in some of my guys that are good, LK. And he was like, okay, then fine, whatever. Bring in Nax and Leon, and they became like the big players in the clan. This means I had influence, a lot of influence, and because back then I was the nice guy, the cool guy. That means a lot of players got abuse from LK, no matter what, no matter how good they were, how nice they were to him. LK would just shit all over them, basically. And I was always the guy at the side going, good job, Roman or Pio Kid or all those other players in the clan. I was always the one going, yeah, you did great. LK's an asshole. So now I began to just get influence over them, and everybody started to like me more. And when it came to these discussions on who's the best player, I always won just out of personality. That was it. That's the only thing that edged me over LK, was I had the personality. Now I was going to take over that clan a lot quicker than I did. But there was a few things I had to do first, and I needed LK for it. There was still a few clans out there, probably ones better than what the elites were, but they weren't, advertising themselves that well. They just went around in a crew. First, I'll go through the shitty ones first. There was the farmers, which was like Tara Shell, and a few other really bad players. Smokester, oh god, I forgot Smokester, that guy. He's like he's like number one on the destruction leaderboard, so he basically destroyed everything in the map and did not shoot anybody. He was like the most pointless fucking player in the game. So that was farmers. Who else was there? I forgot the other one. There was like two fish fuckers. they were something. That was Game Fanatic, Squall, Wicked Spider, and a few others. They always claimed to be the best and stuff as well. On equal with them was Gingers. Gingers was the clan I needed to take down, because that had another big player in the clan, Shikari. So I was thinking, right, I could take down two of these like colossal players on the game, Shikari and LK. I can take them both down. One I can take down mentally, one I can take down technically. So I needed LK to take down Shikari's clan, because Shikari's clan was fucking... They were brutal. They had buffaloing. A lot of players don't like buffaloing. They say he's like a bad player, but buffaloing can handle himself. I'm not gonna say that like he's a bad player. Buffaloing's a good player. I'm Greatness and Buffaloing are actually MLG players. So they're legitimately like really big players, and everybody knew that. They were like, don't fuck with them, they're MLG and shit, Shikari, Gangster, DG Sloppy Jonah, a few other huge players. So they You know, if we got into a 4 versus 4 with their best players, you know, I could not beat them without LK. That was just fact back then. So me and LK, I'm going to try and describe this match. We did a lot of matches against them. There was a lot of 2 versus 2s against Dankster and Shikari. I remember that. They did not go well. It was always, I never had LK or Leon with me. It was always like Nax or Pio Kid. You know, we just did not blend that well. Oh, fucking Eisen was in Gingers. I've just remembered that. So we did a lot of 2 versus 2s against them. There was a lot of, like, you know, bullshit stuff going on, like, you know, just lag and stuff like that. It was never going our way. It was the same when Rdies was playing Elites. You know, it just the time difference and stuff. We just never had our best team on until this one time when we got all our best players on and all of their best players on. Well, maybe we didn't have Nax, I don't think. Nax never turns up for clan battles, that's just fact. So I remember it was me, LK Hellspawn, Leon and Pio Kid. Now, this is the best clan battle I had ever been in. No, even aside from Bloodline. Bloodline was a clan battle where I just fucking dominated. This 4 versus 4 was fucking. This was 2 massive clans taking each other down. And I was like, you know, this is the first time I've actually been in a really good skilled clan versus another really good skilled clan. First time, and probably the only time, really. So I remember going into this, and you know, a lot of players were, a few were spectating, and a few were like in the chat room. This is where I sort of took both clans down at the same time. So I remember the first match we did against on Crash Site. It did not go well for us. We lost by like 10. You know, it was best out of 3, and we lost by like 10. You know, the whole clan was there to witness. LK was freaking out. LK was not doing well. Well, he was playing well, but he was just complaining. He was just like, oh, you bitch, you should be fucking playing better. What the fuck's our team doing and shit. But I was the one sitting there, like, well, telling them orders, telling them tactics and stuff, and people just went, you know, listen to MHLK. So I started gaining this control over the clan, so that was working out well. So, you know, that was the moment where people were like, you know, MH should be the fucking leader here. You know, I think I got the co-leadership like a while back before that match even happened. Because I think, I know, we had to like fight each other for it or whatever. So I got co-lead. You know, it was kind of, so it was working out well there. I was gaining a big influence. LK didn't like that. And he couldn't kick me because we're co-leaders. And that was just fantastic. So the first match went awful. So there was 2 more matches to go. The second one was Downfall. Yeah, Downfall it was. And we won by like 5. You know, I'm being unenthusiastic right now, but these matches were fun.